Hey there guys, how's it going? So we have absolutely tons of content to talk about today. It is Black Friday and with that has come a heap of new deals into the shop. But instead of just deals on new medals for once, we actually have some content. We have a story update featuring, well, I don't want to spoil it if for some reason anyone hasn't watched it yet. Don't worry, I'm going to be doing plenty of videos about that. I'm going to be adding tons more to my, this fits in actually kind of well to my the entire story of Kingdom Hearts Union Cross video, so I'm going to be adding this new update that came out a couple hours ago into that, so don't you worry about that. Anyway, let's talk about the new medals, get that out of the way. So, first and foremost, we have a high score challenge featuring our good friend Vivi. Obviously a really cool character. We're going to be getting the VVB medal. Basically just an upright magic reskin of the Timeless River Sora that we saw not too long ago. Well, last month's high score challenge. And personally, I'm hoping to redeem myself basically after getting a boosted copy of that medal and getting 4 of the worst trades in the game. Anyway, let's move on. Sorry, there are 2 new medals in the shop as well. So we have a brand new Supernova medal, Supernova Riku Replica. Really sick looking medal. I love the design of all these Supernova medals. Of course, insanely powerful. In terms of its multiplier, it's just another reskin of Sephiroth, KHUx 19, and Kingdom Hearts 3 Riku EX. The Supernova effect, though, is a little bit different. The Supernova effect is basically, instead of the single target, very powerful hit of Sephiroth and KHUx 19, it's an all-target hit instead that deals 2/3 the damage. So, different Supernova, but still very usable. Obviously, it's going to hurt a hell of a lot to be hit by those in PvP still, but in terms of PvE content, it gives you a few more options now. So, really cool. I do like that they're branching out in terms of Supernova stuff. We'll talk about the deal more in a second. Another new medal is the Kingdom Hearts 2 Yuffie Prime medal, which is basically just a tier 5 reskin of the Kingdom Hearts, of the HD King Mickey Prime we got not too long ago. So, again, a tier 5 means it's basically the same medal, only with the multiplier, only gets 150% boost instead of a 200. So, still quite powerful, but not quite as good as Mickey. And in hindsight, like, given that they released Mickey first, it's like, yeah, it doesn't seem very good in comparison. But of course, you're going to be getting those on your way to trying to pull Supernova Riku if you decide you want to. Anyway, one more thing we should talk about, the deals. Okay, so from my limited understanding of Google Translate, these deals are going to be released sequentially throughout the week. So obviously right now we have the Kingdom Hearts 3, sorry, the Riku Replica and Kingdom Hearts 2 HD Yuffie, whatever Prime. That deal's in the shop right now and it's a falling price. So one of my biggest complaints about the Supernova banner was that, and I still have complaints about them obviously, but was the fact that they were 3,000 jewels for effectively like just trash garbage if you didn't get the Supernova medal itself. At least this is a pretty good middle ground where it's like a falling price, and I do hope they continue that forward if they want to keep releasing Supernovas, which I'm sure they will. So hopefully they keep that falling price aspect in. I guess I think they'll be watching the metrics very carefully. So I do like that a lot. I do like the fact that it's falling price quite a lot, but obviously that will tempt a lot of players to be like, oh, what the hell? I'll just do a few more pulls. It's only 1900 jewels. While it's a blessing to those that are like aiming, okay, I want to do 10 pulls on this banner and I'll try my luck. Or you say, okay, I want to spend 30,000 jewels. At least you get a few more tries out of it this way. And I believe the first pull is free as well. So that's very, like, really good, but also very clever on their part. Because then they're like, you know, you could mercy that Yuffie for only 4 more pulls. And it's falling price, you know. That's very tempting. Come on, do a few pulls. Oh, what's that? You've got a ton of Supernova Riku trait medals. Well, they're going to be useless without the medal itself. Do a few more pulls. It's only 1900 each. Very clever on their part, don't get me wrong. And it might be a temple mercy, again, just from my limited understanding of Google. Anyway, point is, just be careful. That's all I'm saying is just be careful. If this indeed does come to our version the same way it's come to the JP. In addition to all of that, we're getting reprints for previous Supernova medals. But yeah, both Sephiroth and KHUx 19. Sephiroth's coming first, along with like basically the exact same deal is being reprinted. Falling price again as well, which is pretty cool. So, obviously, if you've got your trait medals from Sephiroth from before, this could be a second chance of getting him, but of course, still not a mercy, just still be very careful if you decide you want to chase him again. This could be ludicrously tempting for people, so just, again, just be careful, that's all I'm saying. Now, in addition to that, we have the return of all of the foretellers plus Kingdom Hearts 3 Riku EX. That's really cool. I've been saying for ages, Kingdom Hearts 3 Riku EX is such an amazing medal, because again, it's just a reskin of Sephiroth. Well, Sephiroth is a reskin of that. It doesn't have the Supernova quality behind it, but that's actually come as a blessing for this medal, well, people like me trying to get it, because it's only a 5-pull mercy now. I was saying back in the day, like, if they ever wanted to re-release these medals, they would probably do it, like, a 5-pull mercy would be amazing, but it could even be a little bit too good value. They might re-release it as a 10-pull mercy, the fact that this is coming as a 5-pull Mercy is insanely good. Insanely good. So I'm extremely tempted to go in pretty hard on these banners. Okay, so we have Riku, and we have all the foretellers, and we have Stained Glass 7, 8, and 9 coming as well. I can assume they'll all be 5-pull Mercies. I'm wondering if they aren't announcing that just yet, just in case they decide they want to tweak it later on. But, assuming they are all 5-pull Mercies, which one would I pick? Again, Riku fits amazingly well on Fairy Stars. Again, it's just a reskin of Sephiroth without the Supernova. So, 15,000 jewels. I'm looking at that going, yeah, I'm probably going to want to have you, especially in hindsight of my, like I said, my Timeless River Sora going kind of crappy. I'm looking for upright speed and quite a lot of power in that Fairy Star slot, so I'm looking at Riku there going, you could be the guy, you could be the guy that does that for me. In addition to that, I'm needing some like magic buffers. Obviously with speed buffers, personally I'm doing okay with Kairi and Shion. Power buffers, I've got Era. So for magic buffers, I'm going, okay, Ava would be a really, really good choice, Envy would be a really, really good choice, but Stained Glass 8, I think would work really well, like, could work especially well for me. Obviously the benefit of Stained Glasses is that they're 2-turn buffers, and they don't quite do as much. Like, I liked Era out of the foretellers. Era was the best foreteller in my opinion by such a long stretch, but it would be nice to sort of have them both, like have a foreteller and have a Stained Glass in terms of my personal buffing requirements, and I'm sure a lot of you guys would find it the same way. So personally, if you wanted my opinion on what I'm going to go for, if it's all a 5-pull Mercy for 30 grand to get Riku and Stained Glass 8, that makes a lot of sense to me. That makes an absolute friggin' ton of sense to me. Now, saying all that, there are tons of new metal slots being added to the album as well. I believe Endorphin told me that there were 10, of which only, I guess, 5 have been revealed so far. So, as much as there are tons of new crap coming, it looks like there's going to be even more stuff coming as well. So, as always, we don't have to go crazy the second these things come straight out of the gate, but it's worth keeping that in mind. And again, if you wanted my opinion, I'll probably be pulling for... yeah, I'll probably be pulling for Riku and Stained Glass 8. Anyway, let's talk about, like, break down what the new medals do in details. Let's go ahead over here, and we'll have a look at Yuffie. So, Yuffie is simply a reskin of Kingdom Hearts, or King Mickey HD Prime, but obviously only tier 5. So, if you're interested in what that much of a difference makes in terms of the multiplier, pay attention to the bottom left of the screen, just there. You can see that with that 200% boost, Mickey's output is significantly stronger. And obviously this medal is stronger when put in the back of the Keyblade still. Apart from that, the effects are identical. Obviously, Mickey focuses on the power attribute, Yuffie on the speed. Again, more of a consolation prize when you're pulling towards Riku Replica, but, I mean, it's a medal. It gives you 120% boost, which is kind of cool, but yeah, nothing to write home about. In terms of, like, we can show you the all-target graph. I can show you that now, I suppose. Let's pull up the all-target graph here, and of course I've gone ahead and put that underneath the new artwork. Yuffie's kind of... I'll zoom it in for you guys. So, in terms of the overall damage output, Yuffie's on the very bottom left there. Not too much weaker than the Mickey that came before it. About 5 points in terms of multiplier, but yeah, certainly nothing super strong. It is stronger than Maleficent, which came out recently, if you want a damage comparison, or like the Neku that came out recently. So, it is the strongest AoE tier 5 for what it's worth, but yeah, nothing especially significant to write home about. In terms of our new boy Riku here, again, just a reskin of Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts 3 Riku EX and Keyhut 19. I've talked about those medals in quite a lot of detail before, but yeah, stupidly strong, turns AoE or single target depending on how many enemies are left. This one deals 4 hits and has a unique animation, really, really cool. I know Endorphin's already put out a video because that guy is lightning quick, so go check out his channel. I might leave that in the description, I always forget. But Endo has done a video on the effect of this medal, and again, like I mentioned, the Supernova for this medal is not the single target enormous hit that we're used to with Sephiroth. It's actually an AoE hit that deals 2/3 the damage. Well, it has an 80 multiplier where Sephiroth has a 120 for comparison, so yeah, 2/3 of the multiplier that Sephiroth does. So yeah, and again, a really, really excellent medal. With a falling price makes it very, very, very tempting to pull for, of course, but I don't know. For Keyblades, like, it's just scary when you think about Keyblades like, I don't know, Divine Rose right now, which Wales could build and have, you know, a buffer out the front, straight into 2 copies of this, you know, 2 copies of Keyhut 19 and a Sephiroth to finish it off, just for good measure. It's like, oh god, yeah, once there's a Supernova of every attribute, they're going to be just friggin' everywhere. I think that's going to be the case. I think they'll become back as a Mercy when, I don't know, you could potentially get away without having one if your other medals are strong enough to compensate for it, which is a scary thought in and of itself. But once there's like one of every attribute and they're sort of much more commonplace, that would be my guess as to when we start seeing them being re-released as with a Mercy Pool attached. It's interesting because obviously this is a reskin of Kingdom Hearts 3 Riku EX, so what are they going to want to do when they want to have an upright speed Supernova medal? Are they just going to make an entirely new archetype, or I don't know. I don't know. Interesting anyway, to say the least, which again is something to keep in mind if you want to pull for Kingdom Hearts 3 Riku EX as your upright speed medal, because there could be a Supernova medal the next to the new batch of Supernovas, which is even better than that. Anyway, been rambling on for long enough. I want to get back to my story videos. So yeah, if you guys are keen for those, definitely let me know, because I'm sure as hell keen to make them and talk about the ludicrous story of this this game in this series. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you really soon. All the best. Bye.